This week on MLS Insider.
It's a great story, you know? It's like the curse of the Bambino. Do we believe in voodoo? Do we believe in magic? Are we really sitting here saying that a player cursed us?
There is a sense of urgency here. This is Major League Soccer. We turned the Galaxy around in 2 years, and then we went on a run, and they've been on a run ever since. We need to do that here.
Reese punches it away. Cahill! Yes! Off the head, Tim Cahill levels the match with practically no time remaining.
The first game at Giant Stadium with that 46,000 people, I will never forget that game.
They were playing New England, and the game was tied 0-0. The Manchesters couldn't score, New England couldn't score. They were talking about going to a shootout, which is how games ended at the time. And then with 15 seconds left, New England got the ball.
In an instant, the ball was played cross-field. And the ball goes out wide to my left, and I'm thinking a shot is coming, and then Darren Sawatzki makes a run.
Welton with Darren Sawatzki in a great position. Sawatzki for New England, the USA, and it's knocked into the net. An own goal. Nicola Caricola with a known goal. That's the way this one's going to end.
Last minute at home, the first game. So I was sad and responsible for the result, basically. You know, that you feel that, definitely you feel that.
Caricola tried to send it across the end line, instead put it in the top right corner. And you see Caricola cannot believe what he has done.
People continue to talk about the story. They call it the curse of Caricola. I don't necessarily buy into that whole thing, but surely it was a time that for anyone that was at that game will never forget.
When I first got traded here, the fans tell you we're always an organization that hopes we can get our first championship this year, and we're really banking on you guys to do that. And I thought, oh, really? You guys have never won a championship? And they said, no. We're the only one of all the original MLS teams to not have one championship to our name. I did know that there was sort of a feeling amongst Red Bull fans that this organization has been cursed.
The curse of Caricola is a great story to me, you know? It's like the curse of the Bambino. Do we believe in voodoo? Do we believe in magic? Are we really sitting here saying that a player cursed us?
In 2000, they had their best team ever up to that point, and they win their first round for the first time ever. And then they played Chicago, and it's a best-of-3 series. Chicago wins at home, Manchester's win at home, so now it goes to Chicago for decisive Game 3. Chicago scores 2 goals very early, and then the Manchesters get 2 back, and we're tied at 2-2. And like, wow, this is finally happening. We're 1 game from MLS Cup. This is it.
And it was probably around the 75th minute that Adolfo Valencia got sprung through and scored the go-ahead goal. We were, at that point, 14, 15 minutes away from MLS Cup. The feeling that I had at that moment was pure joy, followed by what I would only assume a heart attack would feel like when we looked over and realized the linesman's flag was up, calling it offside, pulling it back. It was just literally like your heart sinks, because you're almost playing your head that we're on the road. That was our opportunity. 5, 6 minutes later, Ante Razov, it's almost the same play, gets sprung and scores to knock us out.
I think that goal could have been offside as well. Now, Were both goals offside? Were both goals onside? Who knows? But yeah, both borderline calls going against Metro. One goal stands, the other one doesn't. The Manchesters lose. Their best team ever goes home with nothing.
It haunted me for a while, and I always go back to that being one of the best and worst moments of my career, and I'll never forget it.
We were very confident going into the final. Played against Columbus, dominated Columbus for most of the first half. We gave up a goal late in the first half to go down 1-0. Still felt pretty confident because we were playing so well.
And Richards, nice cut, sliding into the Wallach, and the end is tied it. John Wallach.
Finally got a goal with a hometown boy who poured his heart and soul into the team, and we were ecstatic. We thought we had, this was it. This was finally going to be our year.
I was so confident at that moment. I just knew that we were going to win.
As soon as we stopped hugging each other and jumping up and down, Columbus puts one in the net.
Go, Columbus!
And you get that same sensation, like, here we go again. Like, here, my heart's getting ripped out all over again.
We let down for just a split second. Then all of a sudden you're sitting in the locker room and it's over, and you missed out on an unbelievable opportunity. It's definitely tough to think about.
We go down there, we get a good result, 1-1 in DC, something we can definitely come back and be confident going into the second leg. We had home field advantage. Then obviously during the game, we feel like we're the better team.
Eyes on him. McCarthy. Kenny Cooper. Flag stays down. Kenny Cooper is fouled. It's a penalty, and it could be a red card, and this could be the defining moment.
The referee calls the penalty kick. You're thinking, okay, this is good for us. This is a chance for us to go up 1-0 in front of our fans at home. But not only the penalty kick, the red card as well was huge because they had to go down a man, and their keeper comes into the game cold. He doesn't have any warm-up. He comes straight in and has to face Kenny Cooper, one of the deadliest goal scorers this league has seen.
Kenny Cooper, right-footed, in.
Penalty kick goes in. You just feel that sense of relief. You feel that sense of confidence that you're going to go on and win the game.
The New York Red Bulls have the lead, but wait a minute. It's going to be encroachment.
As soon as it happens, the referee comes up, blows his whistle for encroachment. Inconceivably, veteran players for no reason ran 5 yards offside before the whistle was blown, before he went to take the kick.
And as soon as the ref called it back, it's kind of like a sense of shock, like this really isn't happening right now.
Kenny Cooper is going to be forced to retake it.
And that hope, that little hope angel in your head keeps saying, no. But 17 years of play of failure tell you, no, this is not going to end well.
It's still 0-0. Kenny Cooper, once again, saved! Would you believe it?
And you just stare and you think, wow, this is happening again.
Space here, Russell, inside the area. De Leon! Oh, goodness, he scored! Inside the final 3 minutes!
The longer you're on the team and the longer you go without, winning some silverware that the fans can be proud of, obviously the more frustrating it gets. I think that whenever we lose in the postseason, it always wears on the players.
You thought you were in control of everything, and it's just taken out of your hands like that. And it's the worst, the most bitter of losses.
The first day I got the job, I really got through to them, letting them know, about the history of this club with your fans and how they've stayed with us through thick and thin. I still see the same fans that are out there now that were when I was in '98 and a rookie, and I owe them. This organization owes them.
It's tough, but at the end of the day, when you're a sports fan, you know that heartache's part of it. I think we all kind of search that out when we become a fan of a team or a club. It's the highs and the lows that make it exciting. And, unfortunately, the club has had a few lows, which is tough. But at the same time, it's going to make those highs fantastic. So curses are meant to be broken.
You always have to hope. You cannot lose hope, because if you don't hope, what's the point of being a fan?
When I hear the coach of Caricola, I start laughing, because One own goal in 1 minute, in 1 second, cannot cause all this issue with the fans or with the team or Red Bull. I just wish Red Bull to play well and win the game. So they just have to win.
No, don't believe in a curse. I believe in we get what we put in. That's what I believe in.
Coming up on MLS Insider.
And we owe you an apology. I'm well aware of our history. We have not built a tradition of winning here. But I believe you got to dream big. And the challenge for us is how do we go establish ourselves as one of the premier clubs on and off the pitch, and not just Major League Soccer, but the sport of football worldwide.
The city really took to this franchise right from the get-go. People loved going to the game down by the lake. But practically every year, there's been a new management team in place. They've all said that they're going to turn things around. They've brought in new players, but they haven't been the right players. So it's like the boy that's cried wolf. Fans are frustrated at the fact that nobody's been able to deliver on their promises.
We won 12 major championships. We won the Supporters' Shield 4 times. We won the MLS Cup 4 times. We were pretty relentless in our pursuit of excellence. I want to instill that same mentality here in Toronto. And I have a big enough ego to think that I can, bring some trophies here.
He was the most famous football player on the planet at the time, and still might be. And I think the fact that we won championships with David made that team and that brand a world brand. And so it will forever have an impact on that franchise. It will forever have an impact on the league.
6 years ago, we convinced one of the great players in the world to come here and help us take the league to the next level. Go ahead. To David. To David!
You always want to catch these kinds of opportunities when they have some place to go, not when they've already been there. The road that hasn't been traveled. Our goal here now is to establish ourselves as a club that is of ambition and vision.
Lewicki brings a kind of showman approach to running a sports enterprise and has shown that he's not afraid to sign the biggest names on the planet. And I think that Kevin Payne was somebody who knows the league inside out. It's his world, MLS. So they've got the right people in place. It's now up to them to put their plan into operation.
We have a good young nucleus of players, but they're not difference makers. So we're trying to find some difference makers. Why don't I just send her an email now saying we're willing to do that deal for him?
I'm not interested in a 5-year plan, and Kevin knows that now. There is a sense of urgency here. This is Major League Soccer. We turned the Galaxy around in 2 years, and then we went on a run, and they've been on a run ever since. We need to do that here, and we need to do it now. I have great respect for Kevin Payne. We will see him again in soccer, I hope, because I think he's a good leader. And the reasons that ultimately were behind what we did here will stay between Kevin and I.
I got a call from Tim saying that they were interested in bringing me in to be the next GM. My first thought was, wow, there's just so much potential
up in Toronto.
We see these successful teams that are building a nucleus and winning championships. So what I want to know from you, Tim, what is your immediate strategy going to be as to what you're going to do to turn this thing around?
You have every right to be ticked off at us. We've done a terrible job here. And we owe you an apology, and I am here to give you that apology. We have absolutely taken your trust and your passion and abused it. And for that, I'm very sorry. But let me make it real clear. We are going to get at least one, if not two, great DPs. We promise. We are going to work until we find the right ones. The Galaxy are successful because of Robbie Keane and Landon Donovan and David Beckham in the past 2 years. In Toronto, we have not found that guy yet, or those guys yet.
Tim set out a goal of finding players by January, and we're going to do that. We don't have a lot of time because it's been 7 years, and the patience is growing thin from the fan base. A lot of people have left, but we're ready to hit the ground running. We got to sign up some world-class quality designated players. So yeah, there's pressure, but it's good pressure, and we want immediate results.
I think we've lost a lot of respect and integrity in the relationship with our fans. We're at the key moment here. We either lose this forever or we turn it around and get it back.
Coming up on MLS Insider.
This is the game that brings you home. This is the game that brings you home. So, what were the names of those towns we walked through and into, stunned belonging for once in the world? You might have called it London, but we will call it Dublin. You might have called it Saipan, but we will call it Tala. You might have called it Los Angeles, but we will call it the West. The geography of this game is round. Its intention is whole. We followed Robbie Keane wherever we could. And most of all, we knew he was bringing us home.
Here at BBVA Compass Stadium. Very fast and hard surface here. Tim Cahill getting in, shot the goal. It's seconds into this one.
Left-footed by Villarreal, still alive. His first MLS goal, Kofi Apare, and it's a 1-0 LA lead in the 68th minute.
Coming up on MLS Insider.
Welcome to MLS Storytime Theater. Welcome to MLS Storytime Theater. I'm the world champion, Judah Friedlander. Today's story is called Donadoni and the Special Pasta. An argument can be made that AC Milan is the most successful European football club ever, as long as you don't make that argument in Madrid or Barcelona or maybe even Manchester or Munich. But let's not argue about it. They're pretty damn good. Silvio Berlusconi, the owner of the club and former Prime Minister of Italy, has texted me many times over the years for tactical advice for his team. It's so annoying, and I always ignore his texts. But during the 1980s, when I would still take his calls, AC Milan was voted the best club in history were back-to-back European Cup champions. Yes, today that's known as the Champions League. Yes, named after me. And no club has won it back-to-back since. The stars of that team were two Dutch players, Marco van Basten and Ruud Gullit, and a homegrown Northern Italian star named Roberto Donadoni. An attacking midfielder, Donadoni was the quintessentially elegant Italian footballer from the pitch to the dinner table. So when I personally invited Donadoni to join MLS in the league's first season in 1996, the guy was really excited about it, genuinely excited. But on the Metro Stars' first road trip to Kansas City, something went terribly wrong. The team served pasta for the pregame meal, and it wasn't exactly up to Milan standards. Donadoni was horrified. He refused to eat it. The Metros lost the game. It was a mess. From that moment forward, Donadoni refused to partake in the team meal unless he could bring his own pasta with him, and insisted that the team arrange permission for Donadoni himself to go into the hotel kitchen and personally prepare his own pasta dinners. Nobody here knows how to make it al dente, is what he said. And I agree with him. Donadoni was as skilled in the kitchen as he was on the pitch. The great Italian playmaker was creating world-class pasta before the match, empowering him to once again play world-class football during the match. The Metros went on a great late-season run. Donadoni made the MLS Best 11 and received an offer to host a cooking show on the fledgling Food Network, but turned it down, returned to Italy, where he became the coach of the Italian national team. Interesting fact, the Food Network went with their second choice, a little-known striker named Mario Batali, whose orange Crocs turned out to not be FIFA-approved and clashed with the famous red of AC Milan, ending his football career. It's right here in the book. Look it up for yourself. I'm the world champion, Judah Friedlander. Join me next time for MLS Storytime Theater. Where's my pasta, Donadoni? Where is it?